Hey guys, it's Tana. Welcome back to my channel. Today, the main focus of the card is how to make your own wood grain looking background. But we're going to do a little bit of watercoloring first on embossed images. So the two I chose were from that Simon Says stamp set. I got mine in a kit, but I'm pretty sure they sell it separately, and it's called Mandy's Flowers. And I'm going to use the Catherine Pooler inks to do a little bit of watercoloring. Now, that image on the left, I tried to stamp it out with barely beige and do some no line coloring and heat emboss it, but the stamp was dirty, which I did not know. So it came out looking like a regular black outlined image. And the one on the right is a different image, but I stamped it out in embossing powder and went over it with clear embossing powder, or embossing ink, and went over it with clear embossing powder, so you can't really see it until it's actually colored in. And I wasn't sure how either one was going to look fully colored in, but I did decide to use them both. So I want to say while you're watching me color, I don't leave a lot of it in. I do show you a few images or backgrounds that I did. One's in a different color to kind of look like old blue and white weathered wood. I do advise that you do this the way I show you. You can do it with the ridges up, and you'll know what I'm talking about in a few minutes. But if you do it that way, you're not going to have you're going to have a lot more white, and you'll, like I said, you'll see what I'm talking about in a minute. So I'm just going to make this look like a jar. So I'm going to use the Aquatini and try to draw the color out a little bit. And I didn't want to go too light with it because it doesn't have any outline, so I had to leave it kind of dark. And now for the metal tin, at least that's the way I see it on this one, I'm going to use a combination of stone blue and gray and mix them together. I did use a water brush with water in it this time. I just tried to be really careful not to squeeze. This one has a tube that goes up inside the water part of the brush. Maybe that makes it, less likely you'll have an overflow of water come out, because I usually don't have a problem with this one. But it is a very narrow brush, so it's not ideal for larger images. So now that we're all done, I heated them up and made sure they were dry, and then I fussy cut them out. And then we're just going to set them off to the side. You got to be really careful if you use those images, because the stems are very, very skinny. And on this one, I wanted all the white gone from in between the flowers, so I ended up like cutting into the image and just being very careful when I glued it back together onto the background. So now this is the part you guys want to see. So I'm taking a piece of 4 and a quarter by 5.5 inch piece of white cardstock, and I'm just scoring it at every ½ inch. And I do 2 pieces of cardstock so I can show you what not to do, basically. Like, Catherine Pooler inks are good for a lot of things, but they are not good for this technique, I found out. And I think it's because of the foam pad and how juicy they are. It's just not ideal for the way I do the wood grain background. So that ended up being, maybe I cut it a little off, so I end up trimming that off later on. And then there's a second piece, and I'm not going to make you watch me do that all over again. If you don't have a scoring tool like I have, you can use your bone folder, you can use whatever. Just be careful not to cut through your paper. So you don't want to use Catherine Pooler ink, and this is what it looks like when you use it. You see how the pad sticks, so it's stuck really good in that third spot, and it's just not going to give you the results that you want. So I pulled 2 Lawn Fawn mini ink cubes. I'm just showing you what side to use there, and I'm using dough and walnut, I think. I'll have them listed in the description below. And you're just basically going to go back and forth very carefully, trying to even out the color on the top and bottom, but also trying to make it look like wood grain. And don't do what I do right here unless I cut it out. I ended up going across it the wrong way. You don't want to go cross grain. Wood goes in one direction, the grain, so you always want to go in one direction to make it look like wood grain. So I just keep going back and forth between the lighter brown and the darker brown. There, I just did it right there and I had to cover it up. And I just keep going back and forth till I like the way it looks. And then for the white parts, the indentations where we scored it, I personally am just going to use a water brush marker. I'm using an Arteza one. I don't know what color. You're just going to go with whatever color brown matches your ink pads. And I'm just going to carefully go through every line, every indented, scored line. And it really does to me, like if you don't have a embossing folder or a stamp, this really does look like a wood grain background. And I actually I was messing around, I think, for my Save the Crafty YouTuber video, trying to figure out what I wanted to do, and I came up with this technique. So far as I've looked, I haven't found anybody else that's done it this way. So I'm pretty happy with myself. I do not like adding water to it. I didn't like that look at all. It just didn't look right to me. And this is with just some of the various colors of browns I had, and that's with the Catherine Pooler ink. Don't do it that way. So I'm just going to trim this down so it has a border on the card base to 4 by 5 1/4, I think. And I'm going to adhere that onto my card base with some Nuvo Deluxe adhesive in a syringe. You guys will see it in a minute, but my Nuvo adhesive bottle is actually upside down right now because it's basically empty. Wait till you see me trying to squeeze every last bit of glue out of this thing. Waste not, want not, as my grandmother used to say. So here I am literally using both hands. It wouldn't come out unless I used both hands, trying to squeeze last drops of glue out of there to glue these flowers down onto the base. Now there are a couple things that I wish I had done differently with this card. One of them being, I wish that I had put more thought into the flowers that I put on there, because it just seemed very bare to me. And that hello is left over. I cut words out ahead of time sometimes, so I have them to pull from when I don't feel like die cutting. And that one was done with Aquamarine Nouveau Embellishment Mousse, just brushed onto cardstock and cut out with a Sunny Studio Hello die. Excuse me. And I put that on with a Zig 2-way glue pen, and it just looked too empty to me, the card. So I decided to do another panel of Aquamarine Nouveau Embellishment Mousse on another piece of cardstock, scrap cardstock, so I can cut out the word friend. It's actually friends, and it's a Lawn Fawn die, but I wanted it to say friend, so when I cut it, I just left the S off the edge of the paper. But that brings me to the second thing I had done differently, wish I had done differently. The friends word is thicker than the hello word because they come from two different companies. And although it looks well together, I wish I had tried to trim around the friend a little bit. I did briefly think about it, but I was afraid I was going to ruin it, and I was getting really tired. So it was just one of those things where I probably could have done it a little bit better than I did, but it wasn't the main purpose for this video, so I just left it. And plus I really was afraid I was going to screw it up and then have to do it all over again. So that's the card. I hope you guys find a lot of fun things to do with this technique, especially if you don't have a wood grain embossing folder or background stamp. Thank you so much for watching, and don't forget to hit that subscribe button and hit the notification button, for notification of all our monthly giveaways. Speaking of which, I think I'm going to post this video tonight and then announce the winners of this month's and last month's giveaway. So we will talk to you soon, or see you soon. Bye bye for now. Hi, Riley.
Hi.
So what are we doing right now?
We're doing the giveaways.
The giveaway winners? Okay,
Yeah.
so show me what the first person whose name you draw the hat's going to win. Which one? Show me the prizes first. Who's going to win? What's the first prize? The first name's going to win which one? You choose.
That one? Okay, so the flower with the die set. Here, let me see it. This is Sizzix Flowers and Tags Stamp and Die Set. And that's going to go to the first name drawn. And what's the second one? The second one is called Birds and Tree by Sizzix. Stamp and die set, and that's going to go to the second name drawn. Okay. Let's show everybody we got all the names in the hat. Everyone who left a comment on last week's video. Okay. She doesn't even know how to read, guys, so she can't cheat, right? Okay. Reach in there and pull out a name. Just one paper. Make sure you only have one in your hand. Is that one?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, let's read that one first. iGem Diva. IGEMDIVA. iGem Diva wins the flower and tags set. Okay, pick the second name.
Do I shake it up?
Don't mind my messy craft area. Okay, pick the second one. Make sure it's only one piece of paper.
And then we can.
Where are you going?
And then we can pick it.
I don't know what you just said, but can I read
And
that?
then we can pick randomly.
That was randomly, silly goose. That's what we're doing, picking randomly.
No,
I don't-
after the video.
But we're just picking on the video. What do you mean?
No, after the video.
Oh, you just want to pick names for the fun of it? Is that what you're saying? Okay, gotcha. Cindy Ellen Robinson. She's the winner of the second one, which is this one. Okay, guys, so those are the winners for July and August giveaway. Let's watch what Riley's doing. Next month, the giveaways will go back to normal, but it will be a week late because I'll be on vacation until the 7th. So congratulations to the winners. All the giveaway rules will be in the description box below. Just you have 48 hours to email me with your information. Just want to get that out there. And my email will be in the description box below, guys. Make sure you leave me an email with your information. Riley, say goodbye.
Bye.
Lindsay, say goodbye. Callie, say goodbye.
Bye.
Bye, guys. Congratulations.
Congratulations.